Joining us now is former Union Minister and senior BJP leader Smriti Irani. Ma'am, as somebody who's been a veteran of such parliament proceedings, do you really believe that things would come to such a pass that there would be an attempt to physically attack the Prime Minister?
I think one has to take into consideration the seriousness of the office and the dignity of the office of the Speaker of the House, who in his consideration gave precedence to how the Prime Minister and the Prime Minister's office is to present itself in Parliament, in Lok Sabha. The fact that the Speaker taking considerably a very, very historical decision, this has never happened in the history of parliamentary procedures. There's never been a precedent that one can delve into to opine on it. But the fact that the Speaker took into consideration that he did not want the Prime Minister of our country to be physically jostled, the fact that he took into consideration that the Prime Minister is being physically ring-fenced by female, the fact that for the Prime Minister to engage on the floor of the House, or for that matter, even move in such a atmosphere would mean in some way withstanding the physical confrontation that female members of the opposition brought upon his desk or the place that he sat at is not an issue to be taken lightly.
Have you ever seen something like this happen?
Genuinely showing disrespect.
Something even
never
close?
Happened, at least in the 16 years that I have served and had the privilege of serving both houses of parliament. This has never happened. You can express your outrage. There are enough parliamentary procedures where you can express your dissatisfaction. There are enough opportunities inside parliament and outside, especially given that the Indian media is right outside, available to carry your voice to the people of India. The opposition had immense opportunity to engage with citizens at large in parliament and right outside. So I do not understand why the opposition felt that you could physically come close to physically having female members of parliament ring fence him. And I presume, and this is just presumption of mine, given what one saw and given the speaker's observations that one heard, that the Speaker himself and extending a request to the Prime Minister, dissuading him to speak, is a unfortunate but historical first.
Because
and
when
the Speaker would not have made that decision lightly.
But when Priyanka Gandhi Vadra was asked this question today, she said that this is ridiculous. Now you are starting to brand women MPs as almost like terrorists just because they are going and protesting. And that's only because you're not allowing LOP to speak, that the Prime Minister and the Speaker are hiding behind such excuses.
I think the Congress party had enough opportunity while the Speaker was making this observation to stand there and assuage or assure the Speaker that no such activity will be underway. The fact that the opposition made no such approach to the Speaker itself speaks volumes. I do not think, and I cannot presume to speak for the office of the Speaker, but I do not think that the Speaker can in any way ever be accused of being biased with regards to gender. I think the Speaker is responsible for upholding the dignity of the House, and that's why the Speaker took this decision. That is the office of the Speaker. But given that I have served under his leadership in Lok Sabha, the Speaker does not take such decisions very lightly. I don't think the Speaker has ever, my experience of a decade, he has always, in fact, promoted more and more women to schools of national importance across all political parties. So not accuse at least this Speaker of being biased towards female MPs.
Where do things go from here? Because the Congress has said very clearly कि जब तक आप लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन को बोलने नहीं देंगे, हम प्रधानमंत्री को बोलने ही नहीं देंगे. हम किसी को नहीं बोलने देंगे जब तक LOP नहीं बोलने देंगे. Where do we go from here?
I think that mercifully, what transpired in Parliament is available for citizens at large to scrutinize and to opine on. The leader of opposition wanted to not conduct himself as per the rules of the House. The leader of opposition, from what I saw on publicly available content, was time and again directed by the Speaker to speak within the parameters of rules set or procedures that have had precedence. The fact that the leader of opposition disregarded such directives from the chair, the fact that the leader of opposition was adamant his own style of speaking, not taking into considerations the maryada of parliament, is incumbent upon them to explain why is it that they did not have the capacity to express their views or give thanks to the president of India while conforming themselves to rules. I would disregard the charge that it is the government that did not allow the LOP to speak. My position is that the LOP knew that he did not have content which could be substantiated as per rules of parliamentary procedure, and hence deliberately chose to create this atmosphere, this environment where he acted as a victim of parliamentary procedures.
But is it not going to get more and more personal? Because I can't remember in recent memory the Prime Minister actually speaking and saying, about the Gandhi surname. And today in the Rajya Sabha he said कि कुछ लोगों को चोरी की आदत है, उन्होंने गांधी जी का सरनेम तक चुरा लिया. Now it's clearly the gloves are off.
I think you have to give credit to the fact that the Prime Minister speaks from a very responsible position. The Prime Minister speaks with full facts before him. The Prime Minister speaks not only with political and constitutional experience, but the Prime Minister knows that when he has to put forth certain uncomfortable they are for the opposition. You're talking about how personalized attacks now have become in Parliament. I think the most poignant indication of how personalized the attack of the opposition has been on an ideology like BJP, it was best, and for the lack of a more graceful word, it was most poignantly possibly indicated by the Prime Minister when he paid homage to the service of Master Sadanand. The fact is now a Rajya Sabha member from the state of Kerala, and both his legs hacked off by left goons who were a part of the alliance. The fact that irrespective of being physically, literally mutilated, Sadanand led a life of dignity as a teacher, as a political activist. Today, he served in the upper house of parliament. When the Prime Minister in his speech pointed out to Master Sadanand, I think that's an indication of not only how intolerant leftist ideology and the politics of the alliance is, it is also an indication of how BJP political activists have conducted through the years. We have been in power as a ruling majority only for the last decade. But what happened to Sadanand Master happened in the mid-90s. And he has conducted himself irrespective of the mutilation with such dignity, and the Prime Minister pointing it out in speech. I think he's the one walking, talking example of what intolerance in politics on behalf of the India Alliance is all about.
Finally, I want to ask you, to all of those lady MPs who yesterday घेराउड the Prime Minister's seat and today are saying कि भाग गए हैं, प्रधानमंत्री भाग रहे हैं, महिलाओं के पीछे छुप रहे हैं, what would you say as a former parliamentarian and lady former MP yourself?
I think it is disrespect to women of this country when you say महिलाओं के पीछे छुप रहे हैं. That no gentleman in Parliament who is extremely cordial, extremely courteous, would ever put himself in a position where just to approach a particular seat, just to stand up and speak freely, he would have to jostle himself, a sea of females who are genuinely physically ring fencing him. I'm saying, thank for a live telecast of parliamentary procedures, that it's not the word of one BJP person against the India Alliance. People of the country at large saw physically what was happening in Parliament. So it would be a tad bit naive for anybody in the opposition to say Prime Minister is running from speaking. The Prime Minister, in a very dignified fashion, presented his point of view today in the upper house, where there was no such, at least physical hooliganism by the opposition parties. But I also believe that the precedent set today by the conduct of the opposition is unfortunate. It has never happened. And the fact that the opposition parties did this on a speech that was to be directed and dedicated to giving thanks to the President of India, for the lack again of a better explanation, the first ever female from a tribal community to respectfully serve that office. I think that is absolutely, for me, extreme disrespect shown to the office of the President of India.
What an unfortunate first. Let's hope it is also the last. Smriti Irani for speaking to us. Thank you very much.